Another crisis is brewing in the Pan Yoruba Socio-Political Group, Afenifere, following the appointment of a rights activist, Mr. Dele Farotimi, as the organizing secretary of the organization. Recall that the Chief Ayo Adebanjo Group, at its meeting held in Ijebu-Igbo on Tuesday, appointed Farotimi as the organizing secretary. This came despite the previous appointment of Otumba Kole Omololu by the Fasorantic-led group in Akure, the Ondo State capital. At the meeting chaired by the deputy leader of Afenifere, Oba Oladepo Olaiton, at Ijebu-Igbo, Ogun State, they also called for the immediate release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, from detention. But a statement titled Fashoranti remains Afenifere's true leader and signed by Omololu kicked against the appointment of Farotimi as organizing secretary by Adebanjo at the Ijebu-Igbo meeting. Omololu said there is only one Afenifere and it is headed by Fashoranti, noting that any appointment made by any group masquerading as Afenifere is null, void, and of no consequence. The statement reads, "It is important to clarify that there is only one authentic Afenifere, which remains under the leadership of Ruben Fashoranti. This body continues to uphold the core values and principles that have guided us since the formation of Afenifere, and we remain steadfast in our commitment to the welfare and progress of the Yoruba people and the entire nation." Chris, now, it appears that just like Ohaneze Ndibo is beginning to have his own faction, Afenifere is not left out of this drama. But what do you make of this position?
Everything is quest for power. Everybody wants to be in charge. That's why you have faction everywhere. So it's a normal thing. But very interesting is the call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu by the
Afenifere faction now.
I think the federal government should also look at that call. I know that the matter is before the court, but we have seen federal government granting pardon and all that. So I think something has to be done, considering the insecurity in the southeast, so that before the 2027 election, let's see if there will be calm in the southeastern part of the country. The government can just work out a document to, once charges are withdrawn, I'm sure it is it's under the rights of the prosecution council, that's the federal government, prosecuting council, that's the federal government, to either withdraw charge or amend. They can decide to withdraw the charges against Nnamdi Kanu, and that will settle the whole matter. Let's give a second chance to see if his release will bring the expected peace in the southeast.
How do you see the government doing this when the government is, working hard to have Simon Ekpa extradited to Nigeria?
We're talking about Nnamdi Kanu.
But it all has to do with even though Ekpa's modus operandi appears to be, even much more controversial than that of Nnamdi Kanu, but I mean, it's still the same issue.
But let's see. Let's start from one.
The one that has been detained for years.
Let's really. But don't forget that Ekpa was not arrested by the Nigerian government.
Yes.
He was arrested outside the country, and
Finland.
Nigeria only asked that
he be extradited.
So for me, I want to confine myself with the call by the Afenifere for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Let's give a second chance. Let's see if that will usher in a new regime in the southeast. The way it is, if you sorry to say this, if you invite me for any function in any of the southeastern states, the first thing I consider is security. And in most cases, I have declined attending any event there because the place is not secured, and you cannot rule out the Nnamdi Kanu and all that and his influence in the southeast. So let's say the government has invested so much in security, but there are certain things that you don't need to spend money on to solve security issues. So one is this Nnamdi Kanu thing. The amount being invested in buying arms and all that and sending security agencies to southeast can be solved without any fund. Let's try releasing. Many southeast leaders, southeastern leaders have also come out to say release him. We guarantee that there will be peace. I think the federal government should look at that. Now that it's coming from another group from the Yoruba angle and releasing Nnamdi Kanu. Let's see if that will bring to an end the insecurity in the southeast.
Now, the factionalization of Afenifere now, with calls being made by the Fasoranti group that this group now that is appointing Dele Farotimi as the organizing secretary is not the authentic Afenifere group. How do you see this affecting? Because I mean, Afenifere has always been an elite socio-political group of the Southwest. How do you see this playing out in the grand scheme of things in the Southwestern political ecosystem?
The problem we have in this part of the world is people don't obey rules. If you go down to what is happening, you will see that some persons want to jump the gun. Follow process. That's why you see factionalization in even in the family meeting. You see people, but that's the truth. It is not just a political party where you see factionalization. It's everywhere. It's in ethnic group organization. We saw what happened recently in the Ohanese Ndigbo. We have about 3 presidents, President General of Ohanese Ndigbo. It's the same thing. If you go to the north, it's the same thing. The Arewa have different factions. Even the Arewa youth, they have different factions. If you come to Obakwekure, the same. No, Obakwekure, we have other groups. Subgroups. So it's because everybody want to be the head. Because it is not about leadership. It's about what you will gain. And that's why people want to be at the helm of affairs. And the way things are, politicians also are part of the issue, because during the election they make visits to these people, and they sometimes during appointment recommendations come from this group. So that's why you see people jostle for power.